We are live, Julia. It's so great to see you.
It's great to see you as well.
So I'm probably going to be turned around a lot
Okay.
because I'm going to try to paint.
Oh, nice. I'm so excited. Honestly, I thought I was going to get to working on my thing again, but I don't know where the week goes. And then it's like Saturday, Sunday again, and I just haven't been working on anything.
I understand. There's a lot to do in life, and we can't always just do art. There's just other stuff we have to do, right?
Yeah, that's true. So I came home Saturday night, and I don't really know, but there was a big brown watery puddle in my hallway.
Really? Oh, no.
So I told the night service manager, and they said they'll look at it on Monday, but I don't know. My dad scared me. He goes, "Well, it might be like a pipe from upstairs at least." And I said, "I don't think so. I feel like it'd be a pipe under the floor because remember last time when I had a pipe that leaked in my unit? I feel like it's the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd see water dripping. It was just so weird. I was like, "Oh, okay." But then it never came back. That's the thing that makes me feel weird about it. It's almost like somebody took a dirty shower in my house and just dried off in the hallway and walked away.
Oh, no.
It's the
I,
strangest thing, but nobody was in here. It's just weird. I don't know. But that really freaked me out. I was like, oh, okay.
I certainly hope that nobody is just sneaking into your apartment to shower. That's weird.
I don't think they would though, because here's the thing: everything was dry in the bathroom. It just looked like as if somebody had taken a shower, like. But like if it were in the hall, so that made me think, oh, it must be a pipe. But I don't know. And then they're saying, oh, it leaked from upstairs, but I don't think so. I think it leaked from underneath, like the last time. But that's just my. I know my unit better than they do, so that's what I think.
Okay.
We've had a lot of plumbing issues around here, or they had to tear apart the whole kitchen at the beginning of pandemic.
Well, you're lucky that you have a deal where maintenance is part of what you're getting as a tenant because I'll tell you, maintenance is so expensive that when you own your own house, you don't always do everything that needs to be done.
No, I totally agree. Actually, though, I'm kind of, in a way, I think the reason I stay here, though, I'll be honest, because it's a corporate managed apartment. So a lot of these apartments are like for people, I think, that work corporate jobs. So it's owned by somebody, but it's not like a small landlord. So I feel like they have a little bit more funds to do that because they're just, but they do charge a little bit more rent too. So but overall, I'll say it's best because like, yeah, it'd be a lot of money if you owned your house and had to fix these things.
Yeah. So that's when you get to understanding the landlord more because, you know, people, I knew a guy, for instance, who was always bad talking his landlord. He needs to fix this, he needs to fix that. He needs, and then he bought his own house and he didn't fix anything.
Okay. That's funny because if he was so into fixing things before, why isn't he? Oh, because of the money. He doesn't want to spend money on it. I see. All of a sudden it changes, right?
Right. So it's all, I don't think he meant badly about the landlord to begin with. He just never had owned a house before, so he didn't know how it was on the other side of the story.
See, I'm kind of I will call when there's emergencies like that, like floods or things leaking. But in general, I don't really like to do maintenance or call for it. And I like learn how to do a lot of things like change lights myself. And they're like, well, why don't you just always call? And I'm like, I don't want to. It's just annoying to me. But
Yeah, no, you're different. You're not like the typical person that
no,
does.
but people get mad at me, you see, because I do it that way. But I don't know because I don't like to put people out. I want if I can fix it myself, I'll fix it myself. Actually, with the tub, I did though. I bought like a few years back. It wasn't even like super leaking. It was just like cracked from the tile, and I caulked it. So like a few things I can do myself. Like if I can do something myself, I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, you need to come fix a light that I could change myself.
Yeah,
But I know what you're saying. Like I think people are really like they don't understand that landlords like that's they have to pay the taxes and the property taxes. So and how are they going to pay their, mortgage if you don't pay your rent? You know,
My parents had tenants, this is how they would explain it to the tenant. They'd say, okay, it's our house, so if it's about to fall apart, if the roof needs fixed, changing, or some major thing needs to be fixed, then yes, that's our responsibility. That's not yours. But if a light bulb needs to be changed, definitely that's the tenant's
pretty
responsibility.
simple, and you're the one using the light. I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, it just seems like you'd go buy a light bulb. But anyhow,
Yeah. And you'll tell me if anybody's watching us because I kind of have my back to
I
everything.
will definitely. Should I share this, by the way, on you on Facebook?
Yeah, that would be great.
Because I didn't get around to doing that yet. I
I
didn't
mean, I
know.
tried to pre-share it, but you know how that people never, seem to take to a pre-share.
It's strange, yeah, but I guess that makes sense because nowadays there a lot of things are like live events, so I guess that's just the thinking behind it.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not sure. I want to say though, like people need to do their research before they put out a viral video. After I share it, or what they think is going to be a viral video, even if it's a small thing, after I share, I'm going to explain something that really makes me mad that some people don't look up something or vet something before they like share it with their audience. And then
Mhm.
that makes me think like I don't usually call people out, but I'm like, I don't know, can I trust the credibility like of a certain creator if they're doing that just to like rush, to get a video out? That kind of bothers me a little bit.
Mhm.
But I like your painting so far.
Well, thank you. It's
It
just
looks
an experiment. Everything that I'm doing nowadays is an experiment. I look at it as a learning experience rather than, a masterpiece. So that way, not a lot of pressure. And that's why I invite other people to paint with us because we don't put a lot of pressure on anybody.
no, and that's how it should be, I think.
Yeah. I don't know what that was. But
It's my phone. It just went doo 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 because I was trying to share this. Because I have my iPhone plugged into my into my.
yeah, I just got a notification that some fan, some subscriber on my other channel, not this one, left a comment that says, okay. What do you think about comments like that? Just
It's
okay.
kind of spam. Maybe they're just writing something to get like okay. I don't mean to say okay. In answer to that. Okay. Oh, I'm saying okay again. The other day, I got a very strange comment. It wasn't even words. It was just like emojis, like it
Mhm.
was like happy face, fire, and I was like, "What is the context here? You didn't even explain what you were doing." And then I went and looked at this person's account, and it looks like they're just trying to get like traction for their account because I looked at some other videos that they like subscribe to just out of curiosity. I don't always do this, but it looked like they were just leaving that comment on a lot of different channels. But that's kind of spammy, I think, at that point.
Yeah, it is kind of spammy.
I'm just like, oh, so like, if you are gonna say okay, why don't you explain what you mean?
Right.
And then there was another time some guy just came to say something like, "Oh," like to kind of diss some of the people that or like subscribe to my channel. So I decided to delete his comment because I'm like, that's not cool. Like you don't have to watch my channel if you don't like people or like you're gonna make fun of people leaving comments. So I was like, why? So I just deleted it because I was like, whatever. I don't like that.
You know,
And then some people comment and they make it seem like it's a real comment, but it's not even. They'll be like, "Oh, nice video. Oh, by the way, check out my channel." That's another one. Or there's the automated spam one lately where these weird links show up, and at first it just used to be a couple words and links, but now it's kind of like language related to the video, but it doesn't make any sense. It sounds all garbly.
mm-hmm. So all sorts of different kinds of spam, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's some. Yeah, I don't know. The pipes sound kind of scary today. Nothing floods again.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a fun experience there.
No, I just, like I said, overall, it's okay because, to be honest with you, as a renter, I think they take care of things. So I do stay here. Like I've looked for some other places, but just with rents being raised and everything, I kind of am like, oh, it's not worth it right now.
Yeah, yeah. My daughter was telling me also that she's staying where she is because it's pretty good there and everything else is going up so much.
But it's I get it though because of inflation and they're forcing this on everybody right now. So
Yeah.
like what are we gonna do? Like you go to Walmart, you buy things like in general I buy the same things, but I know like 6 months ago certain things that were like 79 cents are now like $1.40. So that's interesting. There we go. I have lots of tripods, but I find for my laptop, just sticking it on top of something usually gets a better result because I can't really put my laptop on a tripod. So I was watching another one of those like review art products the other day. It was really funny because, well, I would never buy such expensive paint, but Ray Dizzle bought like Prada water paints, and then some people said, "Oh, these look like a French brand," so she bought the French brand off Amazon. They were the exact same paints. So $2,000 versus $32. I just thought that was kind of like, do people really buy designer paint and colored pencils? Like, those are the only videos I've ever heard of somebody doing such a thing.
Well, I guess it depends on how much money you have.
I don't know. I think even if you were a really affluent person, you would realize, well, this is a designer brand, but it's probably not the best product, and I would want like an artist quality. I just feel like it's a little hyped. Like if some people buy it, maybe they get it in PR. It just doesn't really seem like purses, yes, but like colored pencils and paints, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical, like how many people are actually buying those sets. So I learned a couple of things. Not that people would ever really be using colored pencil over a piece of paper that they glued on another, but if there's any kind of texture underneath it, it changes the grain of the pencil, even if it's a really heavy paper. I find that very interesting. The colored
Yeah.
pencils are that sensitive.
Yeah, they are very sensitive. That's another reason why I don't see myself doing that. I'm just not able to put up with too many. I have my own problems, with just controlling what I'm doing.
Yeah, I understand. Like, I think paint, I'm just beginning to, like, I used to feel like, oh, paint's so messy. Like, I don't want to paint. But then I started using the acrylic more. And I still like oil paint, but I'll be honest with you, I really like acrylic paint these days because, well, like it does clean up a lot easier than the oil paint. And I would never even do like all the finicky things with oil paint that other people did. Like when I was in high school, they always wanted us to like dilute it with turpentine. But then I remember in the early 2000s, I started looking up like alternatives, and I found like baby oil or rose oil or any kind of oil really. And people were like, but that could degrade the painting. But I don't know, like this painting that I did with oil paint and the baby oil, it didn't degrade. Like I mean, maybe in 100 years, I'm not sure. But right now it still looks really good. But then recently I'm just finding, yes, the acrylic paints are so much cleaner and I get a lot of the similar results. So why like even, and then I found out, well, I'm not going to go buy new paint right now, but there's actually an acrylic paint that like mimics oil paint, but it has the cleanability of acrylic paint. And I thought that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, that's why I always started with acrylics rather than oil, but it's still kind of messy, you know.
It is, that's true. But the oil paint, I guess, like I'll explain what I mean by next level messy. That with the oil paint, I kind of had to paint outside a lot, like because if it spills, you're in a world of trouble. Because even I don't know, there's just a lot of things. So I used to do a lot of oil painting outside, or sometimes I would do it in the kitchen. And I think maybe now I could try doing it inside, but I just remember it seemed a little bit messier. And then cleaning the brushes was just like a nightmare. I hated that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, everybody knew that there's no way that I could do oil. So everybody agreed in my family that I was going to be doing acrylics.
I just really like acrylics. I think no matter what, it's a good medium. I just never realized how much I was going to like them. Because I did like one or two acrylic paintings in the past, but I did mostly oils up until recently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anybody commenting as of yet.
Okay. Well, thank you for letting me know.
I just thought I would check real quick. I'm not running away, but I'm just going to heat up some water. I'll be right back, everybody. I just wanted to get some water real quick. Hot coffee.
Oh, I actually still have some coffee from the morning.
Yeah, I forgot to drink coffee this morning. What kind of coffee are you making? Instant coffee?
I have been, but what I'm saying, I still have some from the morning. We have this fellow over here, William Mankett, and here's one of those examples of. So he says, "Yeah, I'm not sure about what."
Maybe he means about coffee.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I don't coffee. There's mine.
He likes coffee, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. I only guess.
I suppose.
So another thing I've been realizing too is like, well, I know you don't really drink coconut milk, but I've found lately if I buy the big can of coconut milk, it's actually like the actual coconut milk that they can, it's like concentrated. Whereas if you were to buy like the one in the carton, it's diluted. So it actually saves a little bit of money to buy the canned one. I've been figuring that out lately.
Yeah, you know what? I actually bought some almond milk creamer for my daughter when
Uh-huh.
but she told me she doesn't like almond milk. She wouldn't mind if it were oat milk. Have you tried
Oh,
oat milk?
yes. Everybody raved about it. Oh, oat milk. We love oat milk. We love it so much. I tried it a few times and I just don't like it. I'm okay with almond milk or coconut milk, or sometimes I get a blend of coconut almond milk. But a lot of people hate the almond milk, and I think it's a dumb reason because they think it's wasting water on an almond tree. But they've drinking almond milk since like medieval times. Like it's something they used to actually drink in medieval Europe. So I don't know why all of a sudden people are up in arms against it. Like it's just you don't
No,
have to.
she
I don't
was
know.
just doing she told me about the flavor. She has no ideology about it, you know, it's just
Oh no, not her, but some people that I know, like they tell me that they think it's really bad or something.
no, she said she just didn't like the flavor of it, but she doesn't have to have dairy all the time.
Hmm.
But I mean she can, but she doesn't have to. She's open to other products,
Uh-huh.
but she says that she tried oat milk and she liked that a lot better.
Everybody really likes oat milk. I guess I'm the outlier because okay, I've tried to like oat milk. Everybody really likes it. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people tell me they really love it, but it just tastes like watered down oatmeal to me. And I don't know. I'm not that excited about it, but I get it. People really like it.
Yeah.
Well, it's all a matter of flavor, and different people have different tastes,
Yeah,
right?
I think so. So I kind of like the one that people they don't like it, and you know why? Because it has fat in it, which is the coconut milk. People are like, "Oh my gosh, it has too much fat," but I actually like that one. So
Well, Sword has never liked anything flavored with coconut, not even candy. So
oh yeah, it's not for people that like. A lot of people really hate coconut, so I don't think it's for
yeah.
them. I just really like it. I don't know. It's and then I find if I buy it in the can, I can water it down a little bit, and it's actually cheaper. So I'm like, because that's all it is. Like I don't know. It's kind of like if you were to buy condensed milk, and kind of like they used to people used to do things like to water it down. It's kind of
Mhm.
like the same idea.
Yeah.
And I just find it's the same thing. So why would I spend like $4 on the creamer when I can just get the can of the coconut milk and it does the same thing? I don't know. And I don't even add sugar to it because I think the coconut milk is sweet itself. So that's why I kind of like it too. I hope I don't. Oh my gosh. I'm coming back. Coming very slowly. Did we get any more comments?
No, just that one that I shared. Do you want to see it again?
Oh no, that's okay. I saw it at that time. It's okay.
Okay.
I think maybe I'm not sure about that one then. Seems a little like I think they would have explained themselves if they were talking about coffee or something.
Sometimes I don't know if people are real people or they're bots. I never know.
It might be a bot. Like I mean, like I was saying, like those link comments that we get at first, they would just be words with a link. And I'm like, oh, that's definitely spam. But then all of a sudden, I started seeing them on my channel and some other people who subscribe to me, and I subscribe to them. And it's weird. It's like a robot talking because it uses kind of terminology and language that might be what your video is about, but in a second language than what your video's in with a spam link. So I just, it's more things. But for some reason, YouTube just cannot seem to filter those out. But then they filter out legitimate comments because one of my friends, well, she's subscribed to my channel and I watch hers. Like she had a lot of legitimate comments on some of her videos that just disappeared, cannot be found again, like ever. They're not in the spam filter. They're nowhere. They're just gone.
Well, that can happen maybe when somebody leaves YouTube or is thrown out of YouTube. They left.
That's what they thought. She asked because like some people got upset. They're like, I like left a comment. Like there were several people, they left a comment on her video.
Mm.
And then they said, "Oh, did they get deleted?" And she said, "No, I didn't delete them." And then they sent her screenshots, and they didn't leave YouTube. They didn't delete the comment. YouTube just deleted the comment. And that's happened to me too. When actually recently I asked somebody, because I was curious, I said, "Did you delete your comment?" And they told me on Instagram that no, they didn't delete their comment, but it just disappeared. And then I used to get like that lady Saxon. She would comment on my videos a lot.
Mhm.
I think she's busy these days. But yeah, she said a lot of times like things like half of what she would comment would just disappear. It wouldn't be there later, and I didn't delete it. And sometimes I went into the spam filter, like occasionally it would be there, but other times the comment was just not there. Like this is a known problem on YouTube where some legitimate comments they don't register, they think they're spam, they don't even make, like they might show up for a little bit and then they're gone.
That is weird.
Yeah, and that's annoying to me. Like, I'll tell you why, because they can't seem to filter out these link comments. Like, sometimes they do, but a lot of times I have to go in and delete them myself.
Yeah, well, I suspect that some of the bot comments are actually sponsored by YouTube.
That's what I think, because I'm like, why is that happening? I'm just like, come on.
You know, because they're developing their own AI, and their AI is practically sentient, they say.
Yeah, and it's pornographic, those links. Like, I know you're not supposed to comment on links, but you know, sometimes I have a little curiosity, and I went to some of them. And I'm like, oh my god! So if that's what their IE is promoting, AI, I don't know.
Well, I don't know what they put into it. Maybe it's supposed to mimic the interests of human beings, I guess.
I know this whole sentient AI thing is so, it just sounds so dystopian. I'm just like, oh boy. Like, are we going to start having like just robots like driving on the road and going to the grocery store? Well, they probably already do.
Yeah. They probably do. And they're eating Soylent Green or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, that's funny because I thought that video, it never really got a lot of views, but I could have sworn it was up past 50 a week ago, and now it's back down to 47. I thought it was higher, but I don't know. I didn't monitor it that closely, but for some reason it's not taking off. But of course, like what videos with the hashtag Soylent are taking off? Oh yeah, the ones that say it's great. Like there's these people, they're like, oh, I can replace my meal with this. I don't have to eat anymore. I mean, that's weird. It's not food. And the guy that developed it, he's not a nutritionist. Like, and they made it in the lab with rats and stuff. Like when they were first starting out, it was like really unhygienic, but they somehow got around the loophole because it wasn't considered or classified as food, but as like some sort of protein drink. And I'm just like, and now he lives on a dairy farm.
Yeah.
The other way, but then you can't even really find out anything about him except he believes in a southern continent that doesn't exist. And I don't know, like I couldn't watch that. I tried to watch a video where they were interviewing him, but it was the weirdest thing, and he was just rambling, and it just sounded like they were following around, I don't know, one of those homeless guys that believes in conspiracy theories in my town, except those guys don't have, you know, they're not venture capitalists and they're not like working in a startup. Maybe they could get one of them to do it. I don't know.
Well, you know what, Julia, I don't think that, I think that guy is the inventor of this only in the same sense that President Biden is president of the United States.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think it's very dystopian, like we talked about, and there's a deeper, like, there's something going on. Like they want to use it as a reason to replace food or because of the supply chain, but
Not because of the supply chain. It's because of animals. I figured it out. They don't want us to have animals. So, you know, PETA doesn't want people to own any animals. They don't really want farms to exist anymore. They only want to have laboratory meat, laboratory vegetables, everything created in a laboratory without ever having been a plant or an animal.
that doesn't even seem like, I'm going to be like, how could humans exist, because even the people who do drink the Soylent, like I told you, I had it once and I was just like, I thought it was a nasty drink. But there's some people, they did an experiment where they drank it for a week and they said it started to make them feel sick and stuff. I don't see how long term anybody could survive off that, you know? But I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that they're working to perfect it, but in my opinion, it's not a good idea, even if it did work, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm not interested. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not interested. I don't really see how it appeals to anybody really.
But I was looking for funding for startups, and, you know, and there actually is a biotech
Ooh.
sandbox where that's
Yeah.
what they are encouraging people to work on, you know, fake food.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Ugh, so gross. Yeah, I mean, I wonder how many of those are doing well or being pushed right now, like the numbers. Like, did you see anything about how many of them?
No, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that the powers that be are really pushing the Soylent one. Otherwise, why would anybody buy it, you know?
And why would you even see ads for it? Like somebody like you that has no interest in that. It's kind of weird. Like that's not something you would even be interested in.
Yeah. They want everybody to not have a lot of choices, and then everybody will be interested.
I don't know. It just sounds so strange to me. I'm not, but I guess there's a deeper motive for it. So that's the problem. Oh, I like the people though. They're coming along really well. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to go much further with it because I used way too much water and it's dripping, but this is what it looks like.
You and Sword, right?
Yeah.
I like it. That's so cool.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to let it go and just work on something else because it's very wet.
I think that's the fun part of water paint, though. It's like a medium where you get to use the water and, you know, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, I feel like I'm towards the end of using lots of colored pencils because I like the vibrancy, but another complaint I have about it is just like the particles go everywhere. And I don't know. I just have several different things that make me think, eh.
Well, anything that you have to press really hard, I know I don't want to do. So I took it out. I'm going to put it back in later because it has this patent where you can put it back into your sketchbook. But this way,
cool. I think I ended up buying like I had forgotten about this item, but I think I got I remember I got a book that was similar. Like it's a little different type spine, but I had forgotten all about this. But I looked and like a year ago I bought this at Walmart, similar type one where it comes in and out.
Oh, good. Yes. So
I like it though. It turned out really cool.
Thank you.
And that photograph, by the way, I feel like it's so good. You should do a video on how to do like a portrait photograph without a photographer because it turned out really.
Well, I think Sword should do that because she's very good at. Well, she's not the one who took the photo, of course, but afterwards she knows how to edit really well. You know, she didn't change.
She didn't change much, though, right?
Yeah, no, she didn't change much. Just the color, saturation, and things like that.
I wanted to tell her how good it was because there's people like all outside the library and the park. They have the big cameras and they charge a lot. And I actually looked online to see some of their photography and some of it's okay, but I think her picture looks higher quality than a lot of those people that are charging a lot. And I was just thinking she's really good at it.
Yeah, I think that she would be great at graphic design in general.
She would be because she's interested in a game and she's designed a lot of things that go with it. I mean, I could see her doing that. I'm glad when I finally start doing art because I so procrastinate and I never make time for it. But if you just sit down and do it, then you actually have to do it.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to, but it's fun.
No, I mean, I like to, though. That's the thing. Like, I just have a procrastination problem when it comes to starting projects up again. I have to have something that motivates me to do it, that where I actually want to do it, where I sit down and make time for it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. You probably aren't motivated that way, but that just gets me going.
Well, I used to just
Only paint when I had something that I absolutely had to get off my chest and couldn't use words for.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, before that, I was in painting classes when I was a teenager. So that's how I learned the basics of that.
I showed you when we did that art tour, the sketchbook. We did a lot of different types of art, but I just never really liked like the instructors in those classes because the two I had, they were just very like, oh, I don't know. Like the one guy was actually a talented artist, but he was just so unenthusiastic about life. Like this was literally him in 1968. I got my master's degree. Yeah, back then you didn't even have to take a teaching course. They just mailed you a teaching credential in the mail. That's all I have to do. I can teach any college art class. And he said it just like that, very monotone. He's like, okay, let's do some art today. And then sometimes he'd be eating an orange in class and they're like, is that your lunch? He goes, yes, I only eat oranges and cigarettes. And that was him.
okay.
I don't know. It just
He
didn't
was
make me
on
want to.
drugs too.
Yes, that it was just, and then he wanted to pawn my watch. So he might have been a talented artist, but that was why I didn't continue with the art classes courses because I could have went farther. And I thought, well, maybe I should have done more art classes, but I was just afraid I would end up with more instructors like that. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
I understand. But in every department, there's an instructor who's a little bit like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just our introductory. Well, I had another one too, like the painting class I took. So he was talented too. And I kind of actually think he was a better instructor in a way because he's like, okay, we're going to do water painting. So it's more accessible and everybody can afford to do it as opposed to like if it were oil paints. So that was cool how he thought about setting it up that way. But then he would do a lesson and be like, okay, you guys need to do this. And then we'd all start painting. And he would go station himself next to this pregnant girl. And he would start like flirting with her the whole time. And everybody, it just became a joke after a while. They're like, is this like a flirtation session? And she'd be like, oh, he's creepy. And she'd laugh like when he wasn't in the room. But then like, I think she just did it because like, I don't know. She didn't really have, like, she wasn't even really painting. It was just interesting. Like these classes. So those were my experiences. But my high school art teacher was really, really good. I liked her a lot. And I felt like she actually, in a way, like I didn't show as many of the things that we did, but we did some shading too in her course. I thought she was a little bit more like rigorous. So I kind of liked her. Mm-hmm. She actually did juried art like contests and she did a lot of commercial art. She was just very well rounded.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of respected her more, I guess, when it came to art.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think in every department, in every subject, you're going to have one or two really weird professors or teachers.
Yes, this is true. I guess it kind of makes sense in an art department, though, because, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like the stereotype Timothy Leary type. I'm like, yeah, that would be you, Mr. Like, it's just how it was. maybe not as much anymore. I don't know. Things might have changed a little bit because that generation, I think, has retired at this time. Ooh, I like that. That is cool.
Thank you.
So there are different ways you can do colored pencils. Some people do it a little bit lighter with some dark. I know you're not as big of a fan of colored pencils, but some people do it more like that. I just kind of evolved into liking the really saturated colored pencils. So I think my style evolved. But I have like some earlier drawings when I kind of did it a little bit lighter. So that is an option too for people that want like more of a contrast. And it does have a place. I just got to the point that I really like that really saturated look.
Oh, I love the colors that you use and how colorful they are. You know, that's not my problem with it.
Oh, no. That's what I'm saying. Like you wouldn't want to do that. But what I was saying, if people do want to try colored pencils, like there's alternatives. Like I have a picture of an acorn I actually drew with colored pencils like 2010. And it's not quite as dark. Like it's a little bit more light in color and more texture, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I understand. I think I remembered it.
Yeah, you've probably seen it. I think I showed it in one of our art tour things.
Yes, you did.
But yeah, once again, like there's all these little particles. I'm like, yes, you're messy, mister. I guess every art supply has its own messiness too.
Yeah, that's true. Nothing is perfect.
No, it's not. But like I said, I would never use turpentine with oil paints, and you can definitely get good results with like I don't know. I loved when I found out the baby oil because I thought, oh, the baby oil is like so good. But then I started thinking, why does it have to be baby oil? And then I tried other kind of oil, and I think baby oil might be the best though because it's mineral oil, like something about it. But yeah, I just like using different techniques that I've found over the years that work for me, you know.
Hmm.
But those, like some people kind of look down upon that. They're like, how dare people use baby oil to mix like oil paint? Like it has to be turpentine. I'm like, well, I don't know why it has to be turpentine. If you like the smell of that, then yeah, go dilute your paints with turpentine. I don't feel like I have to.
Hmm.
And then I bought the thing, like the type of oil. Like sometimes they say, well, you don't have to use turpentine. You could use linseed oil instead. Linseed oil is really expensive. I'm like, what? I can get a big thing of baby oil as opposed to linseed oil. Why? And it's more expensive now, but yes, I like to use more budget friendly art supplies, I guess. Ooh. Is this from one of the shows you're watching?
It's from Mr. Sunshine.
It's what it's gun. I think I know who it is. It's Gung Tai or
Dong Mei.
Gung Mei. Is he one of your favorite characters on Mr. Sunshine or
No, he's not, but he's very colorful to paint. You know what I'm saying?
no? I think, but he's a good art subject. I think.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, no, you're right. He is very colorful to paint. I think he could be the Korean series art muse, like for people that want to do fan base art.
Yeah.
I liked the video. Like, I was really tired when I got home, but I saw some of what you and Kate were doing about Go Font Yourself and the different fonts she was creating. That was kind of neat.
Yeah, it really was. And maybe later she'll show us how she actually uses one of the fonts that she created, just to, type some text out in it.
I just think the video deserves a lot of views, so people should go check it out.
Yeah, that would be nice. We have a lot of interesting things coming up toward the end of July. Danielle Carter is going to be on the show on the 29th, and we're going to do a show about the history of the rondo form and how it developed.
Wow.
Form.
Mm-hmm.
And Kate has contributed a poem to that, which can be sung.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. I think that those sound like some really good shows you guys have planned.
Yeah, she was saying that she has a block. I don't think she has a block. I told her about it and she immediately wrote a poem. So I don't think she's blocked.
No, I think she's not, but maybe she Kate can do a lot of things. And she's like, sometimes she'll be like, I'm not so good at that. And then she's like speaking some Turkish. I'm like, Kate, I don't think that you have problems in many places at all. I think you're quite the genius. I think you're good.
Oh, yeah, she is quite the genius.
And she's talented too. So like,
Yes, absolutely. That doesn't mean that she hasn't had struggles in life,
No, I mean, there are different types of struggles, of course.
Yeah.
I find that brilliant people are not appreciated. I think that's the problem, like with how people are social, but also too, I think a lot of socialization, and I've always thought this for a long time, but the pandemic convinced me of this, our social construct, because like when we started opening up one day, people just came in and they started saying like some of the weirdest things to me, and they were laughing. And I said, oh, and I didn't have a response. And then this lady was like, oh, I've just been locked away from society for 1.5 years. I don't know how to interact with people anymore. It's like, okay.
Well, I don't know. When somebody actually comes out and says that, it sounds too deliberate. If that had happened, then they wouldn't know it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think, but it was strange what they said, and it wasn't even insulting to me. It was just weird. It didn't make any sense. And I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. But a lot of people were acting more aggressive. Like when things first started opening up, it was getting kind of weird, and people were just like mad and like, I don't know. And then there hadn't been as many people on the road. So like more people were going out, and I was starting to see more road raging and just a lot of weird stuff. Like it just seemed kind of like pent up stuff. I can't really like say exactly what was going on. And she was probably much more aware than she let on. That was strange. I don't know. I just saw some strange things after we started opening up. I'm like, okay. I just don't comment on it. I'm not going to tell you what I think about that. If you say something strange, okay, I'm just not going to comment. Like, what am I going to say about that? Nothing.
Yeah. But obviously, socialization is something that, all human beings pick up how to behave from their environment. They're not born knowing it.
No, definitely not. But I also think too, like, I get like there's certain people in society that are considered socially ingratiating and all that. But I also think at the end of the day, I feel like brilliant people that might be kind of out of step with like what like how to dazzle a crowd and just knowing like the right thing to say. Like some people just don't understand that maybe they're just blunt because they're not aware of that. Like they're not very forgiving of it. And that kind of bothers me, just how unforgiving people can be of those things, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't like that. It doesn't have to be that way, you know? That's all I'm trying to convey.
Well, different cultures are more or less forgiving to people who are less social. Some cultures will, you know, if you're brilliant, then that's all that matters and you're forgiven for everything. And some cultures, they don't care. You have to behave.
I'm more on the side these days that if somebody's brilliant, even if they're not perfect, like socially, I kind of can overlook that because here's the thing: there's those people that are like not all of them. Some people are just very kind and they're very sociable, but there's some people that kind of put on a show, and once in a while, their true thoughts about something will come out, and it will be quite vicious. Whereas the person that might be brilliant doesn't have that like bad intention. So I don't know, like I'm just more inclined to be forgiving of people for being themselves and not expecting people to act a certain way. But that's just my take on it, you know?
Hmm. Well, for me, it's whether you're actually hurting other people or not, you know.
And
You know,
they're not usually hurting other people. They just violated some social rule that they didn't know about.
right.
Because literally I've seen people get mad because some people don't know about some social rule that they weren't told about. Like that a group might just make up themselves, okay? It might not
Yeah.
even be that everybody even agrees on this, but it'll just be something that this one group is like, oh, you should do that. But somebody coming in, they have no clue that your group made up this rule. And then the group is like, they totally are offended. And I'm thinking, you're offended by somebody who didn't even know that you considered that offensive. And I don't know, it just that's kind of going into the realm of mental gymnastics, and I don't really like that sort of thing, you know?
Yeah, but you know, that's also how rules are enforced. So if it's a rule of a group, um, even if somebody's never heard of it before, that's how they enforce it by saying, "Huh, you can't do that."
Yeah, I guess so. I for certain things I could understand, like if it's hurting someone, yes, yeah, you don't want to do those things. But if it's just somebody making a faux pas and they didn't really get it, or they're just not aware on the same, I think people like, to me though, that's where I just don't want to spend a lot of my time. I'm not big on groups, obviously, though. That's
Yeah.
probably what people are going to get from this. I'm kind of more of an introvert. I can talk to people, but I'm not a social animal, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I want to be friends with some people, but I don't go out there like wanting to go to like big crowds and events and all that, you know?
hmm.
Like I'm not excited to go to the pool. Like right now, everybody, like if it's summertime, they all want to be at the beach and the pool. And to me, like no, because there's a lot of people there. It doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'll never go, but I don't know. I don't like crowded places really.
Yeah. I never liked crowded places either.
Yeah, I just like I even try and shop when it's not as crowded. Let's see if we have any new comments. I don't see any, but I really like. Oh wow, I like his profile there.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
kind of like a 3/4 almost instead of head on. It's kind of to the side a little bit slightly. I love that. It turned out good. I like it. Yeah.
Thank you. I just have been using so much water lately. I should probably use less water.
Or whatever feels right. Like if you want to use a lot of water from one painting, maybe the next one you can experiment and
Oh,
use less.
the problem is I have to take it out because it's too watery. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I
Otherwise,
got you.
otherwise I could just keep it in.
But the good thing about, like you said, about that particular type of notepad is that they go in and out. So
Right.
yeah, I'm still like really like, wow, some people are really meticulous about these art books. Like I've had books where I draw on things, but I saw a video where this woman drew pictures on the outside and it looked like a professionally published book. And then each page was just so perfectly curated. And an old art book I have does not, it just has drawings in it and that's it.
Mhm. I'll just go ahead and put this up here.
So I was going to ask you for this evening, were we going to meet on my channel and have a discussion? Were you up for?
Yeah, I'm up for it around 9 my time.
Yeah, that sounds good. So I kind of can talk about some new books I'm reading or just different things I've been reading. And was there something that you wanted to discuss tonight? Art-wise, anything or just other topic? Because on my channel, I don't care. Like I do a little bit of everything. So
we could possibly discuss the new Supreme Court cases if you want.
Okay. I mean, we can. I have feelings on it. I know you probably have your own feel. For me, yeah, I'm okay talking about it. I can tell people what I think about it, like because I've been pretty open when I think about it. But yeah, we'll talk about it tonight.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Have you been? Yeah, we went for about an hour, so this might be a good time to say goodbye. And I'll see you tonight.
Okay. See you at 9 your time.
Okay. See you then.
All right. Bye.
Bye.